Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burgundy Zone. I am your host, Kyle, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Michael Hall
What it do?
and Michael Reed.
Reporting live from the city, from the new country, the Chads. I am here with you guys out of Seattle.
Do you have your Cokes with you? Did nobody steal your Coke?
No, but I invited a bunch of homeless people in to try to be nice, to have them come in and eat some of my food, and they stole everything. And they just walked out with it.
I'm not sure if you saw that video of that guy in Chaz with all the Coke. He has like a kit, like a 24 pack of like Coke cans. And I guess people like robbed him of it, and he was flipping out, and he was like, "This is not why it's supposed to be this way. You're not supposed to be robbing me."
Dude, the funniest shit that I saw on the Chads thing was when they were like making the city and like they were making sure what they wanted there. It was like they needed to have a vegan curry shop. And I was just like, that is the most Seattle thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, that is so Seattle. And
so
they ran out of food because a lot of the homeless people took it from them. And then like,
dude, they're veterans, dude. They're like on the street veterans. They know what's good.
And then they asked, they're like, please send food. If you have any gluten-free, soy, whatever, please make sure that you send it. And it's like, if you're starving, I don't think now's the time to like be begging. Like, I won't eat that because it's not soy. So
I saw somebody said that was like they've been alone for a week and they're already asking mom to send supplies.
I just think the Chaz thing is the funniest thing in the world. Like, at first I was like, what the hell is going on? What is all this Chaz thing? And today I went deep down the rabbit hole, and now I'm like, this is my favorite thing that's happening in the world right now. Oh my God, this is hilarious.
The most important thing out of Seattle since Russell Wilson.
No bull.
Yeah.
Right. But let's get back on track, everybody. So we're going to have kind of a grand scheme kind of podcast here. We're going to talk about a bunch of the issues surrounding the NFL and just the sports world altogether. And maybe we'll round this thing out with some fantasy based on the go. We'll see how we go with that. But the latest news regarding the Redskins is Ryan Anderson is possibly on the trading block. So, Hall, I'll go to you first. It's rumored that he's worth around a 5th or 6th round pick in the upcoming draft in the NFL circles. Do you put any validity with that? Do you believe that?
I mean, I would definitely believe that just based off of I believe he's like maybe like a 4th round talent, like worth a draft pick on the 4th round side. But just based off of the production he's put out over the past couple of years since he's been with the Redskins, I can definitely see like 5th or 6th. But as a fan of the Redskins and someone that's seen him grow from his rookie year, when I thought that like we kind of maybe wasted a 2nd round pick on this guy, to maybe the last year and maybe the year before that, where he's been really good at stopping the run. If he can get that pass rush going this year, which hopefully Del Rio and the guys will get him up to speed with that, then I can definitely see some potential there. And I would hold on to him this year just for this last final year of his contract, see how it pans out. And yeah, if you want to re-sign him for some type of low contract next year, possibly for a depth move, yeah, go ahead. But if you want to let him walk in free agency, I don't see it being a big thing. But I would definitely hold on to him this year, as opposed to giving up getting a 5th or 6th round pick in next year's draft.
No, I actually do believe that they need to get rid of him because they have a plethora of talent at that position. But this goes hand in hand with one of the questions that was brought to us by a fan of Joe Jackson Gibbs on Twitter. He wanted to know, why is there interest from the league in Ryan Anderson? What has he shown that would make other teams covet him? Reed, I'll go to you first with this. What do you think about Joe Jackson's comments there?
I understand where you're coming from, but really, comparatively, if you look at his numbers last year and Jadeveon Clowney's numbers last year, they're very similar. Actually, Ryan Anderson was actually better in some categories. I've always been one that thought Jadeveon Clowney was a little bit overrated, a little bit more. He's obviously a better physical specimen, but yeah, I don't. Maybe teams see him as somebody that did produce, like Hall said, he did come up big in some moments last year and somebody that they could use in their defense. But I'm on the part where I think that Ryan Anderson would fit in perfectly with this new Redskins defense. I don't want to get rid of him. You're not guaranteed to get a Cole Holcomb again in the 5th round or somebody who can go in there and play. I don't think that we have somebody who can play the strong side linebacker position as well as Brian Anderson could, if that's where they choose to fit him. I've always thought that he was best as a 4-3 linebacker, even when he was coming out of college. He's perfect for the same position. He's perfect to take on blockers. He's played the run very well, and he has a little bit of a pass rush. Obviously, he would need to excel in that area, get a little bit better, but I think he's perfect for a Sam linebacker. I think he's somebody that the Redskins could really get a breakout season from, and I don't want to see us move on from him yet, just because I do want to see him with an actual defensive coordinator in a defense that could actually fit his skill set.
Yeah, but the thing is for me, like I understand the upside for Ryan Anderson, but we have to be realistic about the situation. There is so much depth at the linebacker position,
but not a strong side linebacker.
Right, I understand, but my point is that they have so many linebackers there that nobody else on that linebacking core garners the kind of attention or the productivity that Ryan Anderson brings, with him being so young and him not being used as much. You know, a lot like a quarterback in going through the combine, not throwing and not running the 40 because he doesn't want to tip off the other teams of possibly not having the greatest arm strength. That kind of thing here with the Redskins, they didn't use him very much, so his kind of ceiling is through the roof because we don't know, because we haven't seen enough. So that alone gives a lot of credence to Ryan Anderson being one of the only moves that can be moved in that linebacking core, because there is so many spots. You got to think about, they re-signed John Bostic. They have Sean Dion Hamilton, Thomas Davis, I know, Cole Holcomb, and Reuben Foster.
Not a strong side linebacker. Not a strong side linebacker.
But listen, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, Jack Del Rio can fit that in. Ryan Anderson, we don't even know if he can play at 4-3. And I know. Look, I know.
That's
John
what
Allen
I'm
said.
saying. That's exactly. You gotta. I'm sorry to cut you off, God.
No, you're good.
But you gotta find a position for him first.
Right.
If he's going to come out here in training camp and they say that he doesn't fit as a 4-3 linebacker, he doesn't have it, then 100% agree. Move on from him. If you can get something, then that's okay. I mean, he's probably going to be gone after the season anyway. But I've been sold. I think that he is somebody who can come in and can play very well. And I think he could be a very productive member on this defense of the strong side. Now, like you said, though, I do now that you put it that way, I do understand what you're saying with the, I mean, we do just have a plethora of linebackers. And if you really break it down, who are you going to get time to? And he is the only person who is movable at the time. So I get what you're saying, but maybe it's just me being a homer and me wanting to like Ryan Anderson and wanting him to pan out. But I want to keep him. I want to see what he can do. I've been waiting to see him in this defense.
You know whose fault this is, Kyle? I've been beating the get rid of Ryan Anderson drum for years, and you're the one that convinced me. No, man, he has potential, man. And now I'm like back on your side, and you're just like, nah, man, we need to get rid
of him. Like, wait, never mind. But Kyle, you do make some good points. I mean,
you do.
You are right with the control over him as a player after this season. And him being one of the only people that you actually can move and actually get something for. I do understand where you're coming from, and you're right. My whole thing is you're not guaranteed to get somebody in the 5th round that can make as much of an impact as Ryan Anderson could. Then we did draft Cole Beasley. I'm sorry. Then we did draft Cole Holcomb in the 1st round last year, and that ended up working out pretty well.
And that was a good point also. Like, we could find that diamond in the rough, like a Cole Holcomb type, maybe a Jimmy Moreland type, seeing how if he can produce this year. And also, maybe you can couple that 5th or 6th round pick you get next year with some other type of draft pick to move up in the draft. So if they're going to do that with it, then cool. But other than that, like you said, he has all the potential. We just got to see if a right defensive coordinator can put him in the right position to succeed.
Yeah, and I really don't think this is by coincidence. You know, Ron Rivera just got into the building last week, and then this just gets released. So I feel like they went down the depth chart, and they kind of realized here, unfortunately, they don't have the resources and the time to allocate to making sure that they can build up Ryan Anderson in time to be a strong side linebacker. That's why I feel like that's why they're trying to move him, because look, they're going to be like, this is more time for the young guys. This gives more of an option to Sean Dion Hamilton and John Bostic and company. Let's let them progress. Right. And this way we can get something in return rather than Ryan Anderson just sitting on the bench all year and then leaving next year for nothing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and that's also a very good point. It is going to be a different offseason this year. He's not going to have as much time to learn a new position to learn that. So you're right. I didn't even consider that side of it. It's very good points there, Kyle.
See, me and Reed are stuck in that old regime, the old Redskins. Yeah, not that forward thinking. We're stuck in the past.
Right. We are 100% stuck in the past. You can see I got a flag in the background.
Absolutely, but in all seriousness, I do think he is worth a 5th or 6th rounder, which is going to Joe Jackson's real question was, what has he shown to be worth that? And my point is that he still has a ceiling. We haven't seen enough. Right. It's not like he's had injuries plagued his whole career. He has shown out just a very small, tiny bit. But what you can also tell teams is look at Preston Smith. He left the Redskins and balled out, so there's a good chance that Ryan Anderson could.
You haven't really seen Ryan Anderson's floor at this point because he hasn't really been on the field with Minutsky being there. And when he is on the field, he kind of just gets washed away in the mix. He doesn't really stand out.
Yeah.
So
And you know who
Right.
great
loved
point.
Ryan Anderson was Scott McLuhan, and I wonder if
Yeah,
he's in the Browns' ear right now.
yeah,
Yeah, they do need some linebacker help, and they could use somebody else on the deal. That's the thing. He's so versatile. You can kind of put him anywhere. But
Yeah, he was running
yeah,
fullback in the
I
goal
guess you're
line
right. He
last
is
year
kind of
too.
yeah, right. He kind of is just at a point with this shortened off season where you're either going to sink or swim, and I mean you got to either flourish immediately or there's a good chance that you might not see the field much. So
Yeah, and it's
and you could be
unfortunate.
gone.
It's unfortunate,
Yeah.
because I liked Ryan Anderson when we signed him. It
Mm-hmm.
was one of the Scott's picks. Scott guys, the football guys. But
Yeah.
speaking of football guys, Madden 21 came out with the ad today for the New Year video game, and Chase Young and Darius Geis were on the cover. Hall, were you able to check that out?
Yeah, I just got a quick glimpse of it before we were kind of prepping, going over what we are going to talk about, and I just think it goes to show that obviously Chase Young, everyone thinks Chase Young is going to be a beast and he's going to be one of those premier talents. So obviously he's going to be in the trailer for the new Madden. But it also goes to show that they still have a lot of faith and a belief that Darius Guys can be one of those top 10, top 12 kind of running backs in the league. They'd be a big playmaker. So yeah, I'm excited to play Madden because I haven't really played Madden since maybe 2015.
Right.
So yeah, I just can't wait for the new one to come out, and Lamar Jackson's going to be a monster on that one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that was my whole point on this was Darius Geis being in that video kind of shows, maybe it's just Madden picking up Darius Geis for one game and just putting him on there, but maybe we're putting too much validity into it. But look, I think it's really cool that Geis was in it because I think you're right, Mike. If Geis comes out and balls, I mean, this offense is going to be something serious because you have to imagine, look at that offense last year with Kyle Allen at the helm. With Christian, I know Christian McCaffrey obviously was just lit the league on fire, but I mean, if the Redskins get some productivity out of Darius Geis with Terry McLaurin on the outside, I mean, could be a really good offense. And so it's good to see Darius Geis getting some recognition because he needs that confidence, I feel like.
Yeah, and I also think that them adding him into the trailer is also Darius Geis has a very big social media presence. He's very well liked on
That's
social media.
Point, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that could just be. I mean, they released it on social media, so maybe that could have had something to do with it. But I'd like to think that maybe they think that he could do something because look, when he was healthy last year and he played, he did do a very good job. Obviously, his numbers according to PFF. I know we can debate about PFF all day, but they were pretty good numbers for when he was healthy. We saw some of his stats were crazy in some of his games, and he just has a very fun style of football to watch. So I like that they had him attempting to hurdle a defender. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm super pumped about Chase Young. I like that they showed him making multiple plays. They showed the only time that they showed Joe Burrow was him getting sacked by TJ Watt in that trailer.
Yeah,
So.
which is hilarious. Poor Joe Burrow already getting killed in Cincinnati. They should be another top 5 pick. But one thing that we did not cover last week with Ron Rivera's comments, Hall, I'll go to you first. He said that the left side of the O-line is wide open, and they have no idea who's going to be there at left guard and with Schweitzer or Wes Martin, and then the left tackle spot with Cornelius Lucas or Sadiq Charles. So, Hall, what do you take from Rivera's comments? How surprising is that to you?
Not very surprising at all. I mean, you can hear him when he first got to his first press conference. He's bringing in a culture of hard-nosed toughness and, most importantly of all, competition.
Yeah.
Well, and accountability, obviously, but competition. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. Obviously, the dream scenario would be Sadiq Charles to become that guy and grow into the spot and be that day one starter. Do I see that happening? Most likely, probably not. So it's going to be on Cornelius to hopefully
or Jaron Christian. I keep forgetting about Jaron Christian.
I don't.
Everybody does. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't even put him in the mix. I don't even put him in the mix.
He did all right. I don't know why everyone is piling on my man Jaron Christian.
Right, he didn't play as bad as people thought.
That was Lamar Jackson's
he
left tackle.
Good,
Come on, guys.
Yeah, look, I know,
and
but
he played both sides.
Yeah,
I was gonna say if you put him on the right side, I don't really have much as big a deal. But that left side, that blind side,
it's tough.
I don't know. That kind of sketches me out. But I think that Cornelius can step in, and it'll be a battle between Cornelius and Sadiq Charles. And as far as the guard position, that's always wide open. It's been wide open with the Redskins for God knows how long at this point. So hopefully, I would like Wes Martin maybe to step in there, but I know they brought in Schweitzer as a free agent. So like I said, competition brings out the best in a lot of players, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I saw this video of Schweitzer doing some type of like aerobics or some crazy stuff working out. So he's getting
Super
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I
flexible.
was gonna
yeah.
say that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I saw that. That
He's
goes a
like
lot
doing
into like
splits and
that goes a lot into
dropping
like
it
pulling.
low.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, exactly. It does. Yeah.
It goes a lot into that though, pulling like
Right.
a pulling guard. If you can get out in space,
Mhm.
I mean, I'd love to see him
Yeah.
out in space.
And also,
Being a bendy, flexible offensive lineman is a very good thing, especially for a man that size. So yeah, him being able to climb up the pole and drop down and do the splits like he was doing, good for him.
well,
I'd throw money at him.
just being in any type of sports, being athletic, being just flexible is always a great thing because of injury. And so
Right.
it's always good to have for prolonging a season. And I think it says a lot about Wes Martin when Ron Rivera says it's still open. Because look, they went out and signed Wes Schweitzer. So you could say that he would be their guard, but Ron Rivera is saying, nope, you got to earn it. And I think that's the difference here between regimes. Is Ron Rivera
Right.
sitting here saying, you got to earn it. Nobody has been given anything. Let's see what we got. And that kind of mindset I really do enjoy. And I hope that Jaron Christian really balls out at left tackle. I think that's the perfect scenario. And then we could kick Sadiq Charles in at left guard, which I think would be perfect fitting for everybody. And we would be in a legit offensive line immediately.
Yeah, I would completely agree. That would be obviously an ideal scenario in a perfect world. That would be amazing. Will that happen? I don't know. I think that the consensus with a lot of Redskins fans, obviously they're riding in on their high horses after the draft, and they're expecting Sadiq Charles to come in and take hold of that left tackle job. I don't know if that'll happen. I mean, people got to tamper with these expectations, man. He's a rookie 4th-round pick. Like, I understand he's talented. I understand he played in one of the greatest offenses of all time at one of the premier colleges in college football, but it's a different league. There's a reason that he was in the 4th round. It wasn't all character issues. I mean, he was talented, but some more things went into it. But yeah, I mean, I love that Ron Rivera is saying that. That's kind of been a theme of his since he's taken over. He said the same thing to Dwayne Haskins. Some of these people that aren't necessarily proven, you have to win a job. You have to come in here, and I want to see what you can do. And that's competition makes everybody better. I love it, especially on the left side where it's not as set in stone as you have on from center to the right. So I like it. Hopefully that'll light some fire under some people's asses, and they'll get out there and they'll play hard and they'll do a serviceable job.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, let's move on to our next subject here, and that was the Washington Redskins. That was uniforms have been floating around the internet, so I'll go to Hall first with this. I just showed you pre-pod the uniforms, so tell everyone what you initially think.
Real fast, I saw that you had sent the only yellow ones. Did you see the one with all the jerseys?
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll have to send it to you after that. They have different scheme colors too that look pretty badass.
Okay.
That are pretty nice. But anyway, go ahead, Hall.
Yeah, no, I only saw the yellow ones. They weren't that bad. We were just talking before. I was like, I would add a little bit more burgundy or maybe some white into the pants.
Yeah.
But as far as color scheme goes, I like it. As far as the name goes, in my opinion, that's ridiculously whack. The Washington Redskins. It sounds really, really whack.
Yeah, it's really whack.
But yeah, I mean the uniforms themselves
are sick.
It looks like something you create out of Madden.
Yeah.
And I'm always for some creative Madden uniforms, so they're cool with me.
Yeah, and I love that one uniform that came out with the burgundy helmet with that white R, the old school R. That was
the DC flag on the shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Reed, what was your immediate reaction to that uniform combo? Because I'm gonna tell you, dude, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm right there with Hall. We looked at it together. I thought there should be a little bit more burgundy incorporated there with the pants. It's just too much yellow, just like the Color Rush jersey. Too much yellow there.
Mm-hmm.
There needs more balance. So, what do you think about that, Reed?
Those particular jerseys, obviously they're very reminiscent of the Color Rush, which is straight yellow,
mustard.
But I'll have to find it to you, and I'll send it to you guys after the show. But they have, I think it was like 6 or 7 different jersey combinations that they had, and it was burgundy and burgundy. There was burgundy and white, white and burgundy, so on. Burgundy and yellow, white and yellow. Just the list goes on, but. I like it. I love that. I love the idea of the spears on the helmet. And look, I know that none of us want to change the name, but I do think that if they did change the name, I'm not quite sure what a red spear is, but at least they would be able to keep the same logo and the same with the R, and they could still keep Indian, and would keep some of the same stuff, and then the spear would actually make some spear is. I don't think anybody does. I think it's just kind of made up. But if they did change the name, I think that would be. I would be all right. I guess maybe that's okay, but I don't want them to change the name from Redskins because I think I can speak for all of us white people when I say that that's not offensive.
Just got every time, dude. Just every time.
I'm in a very argumentative mood tonight.
Are you? You've been drinking. I can see that. No, but in all seriousness, Mariel Bowser did speak and had some questionable things. I was on Burrow's podcast, the Redskins Tweet Team podcast, on Sunday, and this is one of the things that he talked to me about. And so I want to go to Reed, your initial reaction to Mariel Bowser's comment saying the Reds, they have to change the name. Otherwise, they're not coming into D.C. What do you think about that?
Cross, I think we need to go give her a few pingers.
Is that one
Bruce
of the bits?
He told me to do a Aussie accent. That was all I got. They call ecstasy over there pingers. Pingers. Way better name for it, by the way. Pingers. Oh yeah. They call everybody the C word all the time. That's like their thing. Yeah. I don't know. They just throw that around over there like it's not the most insulting, one of the most insulting words in the world over here. But I mean, I understand. You know, she's gonna say that, of course, that kind of. I mean, we've heard that from a lot of politicians, especially from that side about changing the name, and that should, I guess, is an issue. And if she thinks that they need to change the name to come to DC, then that's the way she feels about it, and that's what it is. So if they're not going to change the name, just don't look in DC. Just stick to Maryland or Virginia, in my opinion. You know,
right.
It doesn't bother me.
And look, that was my point. Is kind of like, you know, like you should be asking the Redskins to come back to DC. You know, that would bring a lot of jobs. That would bring a lot of revenue, a lot of traffic into DC. And you would think that they would be wanting it, not coming off across as like with an attitude and saying, you know, we don't want you with the name. Like, well, actually, hold on. Okay, then we'll take our money somewhere else then.
Right.
And that's how I kind of view it. Like it's like they're trying to get ahead of this thing and like trying to act like it's some sort of thing that's like for the race war. But it's like, but legit, can we ask ourselves honestly here, what would changing the Redskins name do anything for the Native American community? Literally nothing. That's like handing a kid a medal for like a race that he didn't run. It's just like, oh, there you go. You know, enjoy life. There you go. You're set for life with a medal.
Yeah. Sorry for taking your land, but here's some casinos. You guys like blackjack? Here you go.
No, but it's just ridiculous that we're sitting here and acting like this is going to solve all of like no, dude. Like that has nothing to do with the situation. It's not going to help anybody at all. And let's actually talk about some legit things that are really hurting people around the country and not a name of a football team. Kind of ridiculous. Right. What do you think about that, Hall?
No, yeah, I completely agree. And like you said before, my first thought was, wouldn't you want more revenue, more jobs, more eyes on the city? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like more traffic. And then my second thought was, well, Governor Hogan looks like you're going to have to approve that the makeover out in Landover because that's the only other place to go to.
That's literally, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like you said, I don't know what her whole like agenda was behind that because as a politician, it's your duty, like I said, to generate money, generate revenue for the city, generate jobs for the city. And I'm pretty sure building a new stadium and putting a football team there would do both of those things. So
right. Not only just a football team, like the Redskins are DC's team. Exactly. Like the people in DC in this area care more about the Redskins than they do anything else.
We've always said you want to get fans back to the stadium. The first thing would be putting the stadium in DC.
Yeah,
it's a football city.
Yeah, and Hall, we've talked about before, riding in the truck together, driving into work from various locations, and rolling by RFK and the whole nostalgia of RFK. And like, you don't have that nostalgia with FedEx Field. I've been to FedEx Field tens of times, so many times, and I don't get that feeling that I got with RFK, even as a grown man driving by RFK. You know, everyone wants it in DC. But it's unfortunate that, like, you know, this politician is, like, standing in the way as some sort of warrior and hero. Like, yes, I'm stopping the Redskins. Like, come on, dude, get off it.
Like, but you know what it is? You know what it is? It all makes sense now. She's the final boss to defeat to get into DC with that last name Bowser.
Yeah, that's true. Where's
We'll have to name him the
Mario?
Washington Marios. Go in there, fuck that place up.
Right, absolutely. But I do believe that Dan Snyder is not going to change the name. As much as he knows, he'd love to go back to DC. I'm sure he wants it. He's not going to change the name of this.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But good news just came about on Twitter today, on Redskins Twitter. Dexter Manley is coming. It has a video come out, and he is okay, which is good to hear. I was so worried about him with Corona. Yeah. He looks like he could strap in right now and put on a helmet.
Yeah, he looks fantastic, which is awesome. I mean, there was reports when that first came out saying that he was on his deathbed. So it's awesome to see, round of applause for old Dexter. That's amazing that he came back and he looks as good as he does. We're all worried about you.
Yeah, you look better than Zeke did in that video, in that picture.
I guarantee Zeke is going to give this virus to Jerry at some point. And that is when Stephen Jones is going to take over the Cowboys, because Jerry's not surviving if he gets it. Are you kidding me? Look at him, that old geriatric motherfucker. He's already got jaundiced eyes and stuff, and liver spots on his skin, and he's not surviving this.
No, Jerry's got some concoction. He's gonna live till he's 200.
Right.
That's he has a blood boy, I've heard, in his basement.
I don't know what that means. I don't.
A blood boy is something that's in the tech community, the tech geniuses, like all the way over in California, like the big CEOs of tech companies apparently use blood boys, where they do transfusions from boys between the ages of like 14 to 18 that have never smoked, never drank, never done anything, because that blood's going to make them live forever. It's a real thing. Google it.
No way.
It doesn't work, I'm sure.
Dude, as soon as you said the high tech,
I'm serious. I swear to God. Google it after.
I don't know. I mean, look, I've actually
happens.
heard this before.
That's like an actual thing.
I don't know if it's real or not, but like I don't
know if it's real. Yeah, but people speculate on it.
It sounds like Mike Reed's in the Illuminati. We don't know about it.
I have a blood boy. I've been diving deep during this quarantine.
Mike Reed is exposing Illuminati from within. Now Reed's gonna go missing.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Kyle, you'd be proud of me. I've been getting deep into conspiracies lately.
Nice. I love it. And speaking of conspiracies and people that should probably run away, my nickname for him is Al Gundy. I'm gonna call him Mike Al Gundy. He got in trouble this week. Well, yesterday, one of his players was going to back out of playing altogether because he was
not only one of his players.
His star
player.
Yeah.
Right. Trevor Hubbard. Yeah, could be a first-round pick.
And so OAN, the T-shirt that Gundy was wearing, got him in trouble, and he came out with an apology with Hubbard. So, Hall, I'll go to you first. I didn't think that Gundy was going to outlive the mullet, but he did. I'm not sure if he can outlive this.
Look, I actually thought back in the day, back when he first got it, I was like, oh, he's trying to be like hip to his players. Like, good for him. But I mean, look, honestly, I didn't even really think anything of it because I had no idea what OAN was to even begin with until this whole thing like started. But as we were like, before the show started, I was watching Sports Center, and they were talking about it, and apparently that Mike Gundy is like had done and said some questionable things over the years, racial undertones, kind of like to that extent. And
so what you're trying to say is he uses the word boy.
Something probably. And
ex-players have been coming out. He seems like one of those.
Yeah, ex-players have been coming out, and most recently the Ravens running back Justice Hill saying that he's done and said some sketchy things while he was there. I think the one that'll be the death blow is if Des Bryant comes out and has something to say about Mike Gundy doing some sketchy, questionable things as far as like racial undertones.
Right.
But I mean, he's been there for 15 years. I mean, I don't know. Even with the video, it kind of seemed like Chuba had his like arms crossed and was kind of just sitting there like, these motherfuckers really just made me make this video. Like, I don't want to be here right now. Like
he did seem, yeah.
Just his whole body language is kind of like, I don't want to do this. Y'all are making me do this type of thing.
Just fire me already.
Yeah. So I mean, who knows? There was an article on ESPN right now out that has a bunch of the stuff going on behind the scenes at Oklahoma State previous to this, and that's why they're saying that Mike Gundy might not survive this. on top of the team has not really been a contender in the Big 12 at all for the past couple years.
Come after me. I'm a man.
I'm a 40-year-old man. I'm not a boy.
You know what's funny though? Now people are gonna start looking into Mason Rudolph a little bit more and be like, maybe he did say that last year.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Maybe that's where he picked up on it from. I don't know.
Oh God. No, but Hall brings a really good point, because at first, I was sitting here saying, why the heck would anyone care what kind of T-shirt Al Gundy's wearing? Who cares about that? Like, why is that a big deal? But it makes sense with what Mike is saying. If there was some sort of undertones, if there's been sketchiness going around over the years, then that would make sense as to why they're looking for an excuse to say something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if this was just by itself, if this is in a vacuum and this was one singular moment and circumstance, I don't think it's that big of an issue.
A lot of those people probably don't even know what OAN was until Chuba said something. They're probably just like,
right. I had no it. I just read that it was a news channel or news thing. That's why, exactly. Like when we were first talking about it before this, I was like, that's so stupid. Like it's a news station. Who cares? But now with everything going on, and then you saying that, now I'm okay. All right, come on, dude. Like,
I mean, look, there was something that came out back. Like I think at one point someone was saying that like OAN said that Black Lives Matter was like a scam and like something like that. So that's why they're saying like, how are you gonna wear that shirt? But there's everything going on in the world right now. So I can definitely see with that part of it. But like I said, like all the stuff that's went on in the backgrounds over the years.
His own players coming out against them, like former players. To me, that just
and that was the other point that people were bringing up.
Players will defend their coaches till they die.
Yep, that was the point people were bringing up, where it was like whenever the thing with Dabo came out, all of his ex-players like DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Watson's, Sammy Watkins of the world, or Deshaun Watson, but yeah, so it's like kind of like you haven't heard any ex-players or current players kind of come out and back him saying, oh, no,
right,
coach is misunderstood. He's a good guy. Like, everyone's kind of just like,
right. Yeah. And at least Dabo Swinney made that cool TikTok. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, I did not. Please.
And I literally had to tweet it. It was cringy as fuck. He was doing some little dancing, like, TikToks for 16-year-olds. That's what they do. And I had to like tweet it at Brian Breesy and be like, decommit now, revoke your scholarship, please don't play for him. God, that was just hard to watch. But yeah, like you said, like his players actually did come out and defend him, and so I think that speaks volumes so far. Where after Gundy, this happens. Players are like, no, yeah, it makes sense. I believe it.
He's the Jeff Fisher of college football. Like he's like the one, like where literally his team never does anything. Like if
they have so much talent, so many years.
I see like a Oklahoma State like in like ranked. I'm like, oh, that's good for them. It's not like, oh, there's Oklahoma State sitting there. Like no, like when they're in or they're ranked, that's good. It just doesn't happen that often.
Because like places like that, where like if you have the backing of the boosters, you'll be there for 15 years.
Right. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what your record is. You got the boosters backing you, you'll be there for life. So
yeah. And that's where college is. It's so like you think about the whole boosters and people going to different colleges that haven't been relevant in however long, but they're still getting all these top-notch players.
Exactly.
College is sketchy.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
Shit with the U.
I'll tell you what. Earl Thomas is probably the luckiest guy in the world.
Why? For what him and his brother did.
Because of all the media, like all the news that's come out since then has completely buried it. Like everyone's like
100% right.
Like nobody's even talking about it. No one's even gonna remember by the time the season starts.
Right. There's 2020 has been such a train wreck that everybody forgot that he did like such a weird thing. And like I was watching this brand new documentary on Netflix, Tiger King. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Have you heard of this?
What's it about?
That got washed away too. Everybody was talking about Tiger King for like a month, and now all of a sudden people forget who Joe Exotic is. Get him out of jail.
People were talking about Corona for the past like 2.5 months, and that got washed
and now
away.
That's gone. Yeah. What's gonna happen next? Oh God.
Murder Hornets were for like a week. I mean, who knows?
Murder Hornets were a thing. Now I saw a thing where feral hogs in Sweden or in Italy ate a whole $25,000 worth of cocaine that was stashed in a forest. The meme was like, if you had coked up war hogs for June, you won $1 million.
My point is, there's something fishy here. Whoever reported that? How did they know how much cocaine was there?
Because it was
That's what I
probably
want to
working
know.
for yeah, that's a very valid point. That's a very valid point.
Yeah, the
I think it was about 25K. Yeah,
I'm gonna claim that on
I
insurance.
know because I was supposed to pick it up. Yeah,
I was on my way to pick it up, and I saw the warthogs eating it.
Yeah, and I only had 24K, so I was super pumped. But
Even though the college football season seems to be in jeopardy right now, they did release today the Hall of Fame class for this year for college football, and two of the Redskins coaches are actually on that list, Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. So a round of applause for them. Congratulations to them being nominated for the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Obviously, guys, they had great NFL careers, which means they were great in college too. So good for them.
yeah, two stud linebackers out there that went on to have great success in the league, not only as players but as coaches. So good for them. Very
and another name on there that actually surprised me, and he hasn't had a head coaching job yet, and that was Eric Bieniemy. He also got nominated for the College Football Hall of Fame, which he should.
He was. Yeah,
he was a beast.
Wasn't he a first-round pick as a running back coming out of the draft?
Did he win the Heisman in
first or second
that year?
I don't know if he won the Heisman.
I think he was in the Heisman race. He might have been in the Heisman race.
He was close. Yeah, like he was up there. Like he was one of the best running backs in college football.
Yeah.
Yes,
and now the enemy 2021 Texans. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. Bill O'Brien needs to go ASAP.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I wanted to kind of bring this back around to some fantasy football a little bit. I wanted to announce that looks like we're filled up with the fantasy football league. So thank you so much to everyone out there. We can't wait to get this league started. So to kind of explain it a little bit, it's going to be 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 2 flexes. Now, your flex can be a tight end, wide receiver, or running back. We're going to do full point PPR and then 10 yards per catch. Is what's going to be the basis there. And I can't wait to get that started because we got a whole list of Redskins fans and Burgundy fans on there. We might have to actually expand it. I'm really excited to get fantasy going.
I've never done one more than 12 people, so I'm kind of excited.
Oh, yeah. I would love it. I think the bigger the leagues, the better. That just proves you got to know your shit, man, because there's a lot of players. Like you don't realize how much an extra 2 teams, how much of a difference that makes.
Yeah, and I can't, I couldn't imagine because I've never done like a 14 or 16 player league before, which could be in the cards here. We got to ask everybody how they feel about that. But in regards to fantasy football, I saw Bleacher Report Gridiron put out a question today. Did you guys see this? They asked Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry. Why even put out the list, bro?
Right. Why even mention Derrick Henry in that? That's the real question.
Come on now. What just say? Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey. Start one, bench one.
Right.
Like, come on.
This isn't hard to do, man, at all.
Titans fans are going to try to be like, "Oh, did you see that playoff run?" It's like, yeah. Have you seen them play?
Right. So, Reed, let me ask you: do you guys have another story for us this week? We'll make this story time because we don't have much else going on today. So let me ask, Reed, I know you have a whole bunch of your treasure chest. Do you have something on standby?
Yeah, but not any that I can tell on the podcast right now. Give me a few minutes to think about it.
You're a loser.
I can pull something up.
Oh my God, what a loser.
But you guys talk about it. I don't want to tell the time I got stabbed or the time I was slammed on a police car and banned from Greg's driving school. Don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I'll never forget the time that we were standing outside of a Pierre. Were you at that party that Pierre had at a mechanic shop down off Shady Grove Road?
No, thank God.
Dude,
what happened?
Dude, Pierre used to throw the worst parties, but they were always so well orchestrated. I remember he had his girlfriend working the table out front, gathering everyone's cash, collecting all the cash and shit for the party. But I'll never forget the night that we were celebrating Pierre's birthday. I had to get a haircut, and it's like a West Point graduate kind of thing where you sit in a chair and they put a barber's thing on you, but what you do is you cock your head back and they pour liquor down your mouth. And unfortunately, when it was my turn, Dele was the dude doing it, and he had run out of liquor, but then had replaced it with another bottle. and was just pouring. It was horrible. It was safe to. I remember the next morning, Hizzer had to go to Cali to visit Iyasu, and his flight was at 8 a.m. and I had to be at work at 9 a.m. And I remember getting a call from Hizzer at 9 a.m. as I'm on the entrance to 270. And I'm like, yo, what's up, man? He's like, yeah, man, you'll never forget it, dude. You'll never guess, dude. I missed my flight. I was like, dude, I'm late for work. Oh, dude, that was an insane night. I didn't know what haircuts were until that.
Shit.
Yeah, that's exciting. Did they actually give you a haircut?
No, it's literally
okay.
They say
I know what you mean. I was like confused. I was like, wait, did they also give you a haircut at this part? That's kind of tight.
No, like I did not know what it was like until Dele brought it up.
Night, but
dude, that was one heck of a night, dude. And like I remember, Pierre probably made like $500 that night.
Shocker. Yeah, Pierre probably pulled something. Pierre's Facebook for the last 3 days has been the thing of beauty. Have you guys been on it? Go check it out. Go check it out. Go read his last like 2-3 posts. It's so funny.
I follow him on Snapchat. It's
yeah, you know, fucking Pierre.
Yeah,
I love the guy, but
yeah, that's all you can say. It's Pierre. What can you say?
Yeah,
he needs his own censor button. Is what he needs. Pierre just has no filter whatsoever. He just all out.
Never forget the time the man was about to wreck somebody at the flag football field.
Dude, so we're playing flag football, right? And we're going against this one team, and like they're not good, but their quarterback is like this big, overweight dude, like we're just like very nerdy. Like he looked like he was like an accountant or like was in IT, you know, like one of those guys, like had a beard, like didn't have like a cut hair, like was just shaggy. And so he just kept running his mouth the whole game.
He wasn't good. He wasn't even good.
He wasn't good at all. And so the way that the game ended is that Murphy had gotten a pick. And so he picked off the quarterback. And there was this one little redheaded kid that as Murphy has come down with the pick, this redheaded kid runs up and like trucks Murphy. We're playing flag football. You know, the kid was just pissed. So he runs over Murphy, and so it creates this huge fight. And so we're all just in the fight, like pulling each other off. And I'll never forget because I like found myself in the middle. I look over and I see Pierre, and Pierre has the eyes on him. He pulls up his shorts like above his kneecaps. You know how people do, and he's like, he sees the dude, he looks at the dude, and I remember seeing his eye. I was like, Pierre, no. And I remember seeing him go pop pop. Two quick hits to the dude's face, and dude went and immediately just started seeing blood running down his face.
That's the thing. People like can talk shit to Pierre all they want. People can say whatever they want about him, but the dude can fight. Now, I mean, like the dude is undefeated in his MMA career so far. So, like, what are you gonna actually do? Like, when it comes down to it,
dude. He's cold clocked me sometimes, dude. The one time he was I thought he was ODing on acid, dude. He was like foaming at the mouth on the way back from Tiger Fest, and I started taking a picture of him, and so I had my flash on in the car, and next thing I know, I'm just catching a fist to the face.
Jesus,
dude.
Pierre hasn't done things way shadier than take a picture of somebody.
Dude, don't talk about that, dude, because that'll go down a very, very bad path. Oh man, all those stories, dude. He one of the grimiest people ever. Look, Pierre, we had a lot of fun times, Pierre and I.
All his college park parties back in the day.
Dude, it's just he's another human being. He's a different breed of person. He just doesn't care.
Being down in Myrtle Beach in a room full of grown men and seeing a butt-ass naked African guy run downstairs and run in front of everybody swinging his dick around.
Yeah. He did that one time in Ocean City too. And I was just like, well, there it is. There
it is. There's Pierre. All out.
All right. Yeah.
That's probably the most we've ever talked about Pierre on this show.
No bull.
Never. Love the dude.
Right. But before we got out of here, one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about was the possibility of Cap coming back into the NFL. And one of the things is that blowing my mind is Cam Newton is still out there. And I know his injury with his shoulder, a lot of teams are not going to sign Cam Newton until they're able to go in and see his medical records and see him personally, in person. And obviously the coronavirus set that back. But my point being is I think Cam Newton should be in the league before Cap. What do you think about that, Hall?
I mean, yeah, obviously it's been 4 years since Cap's been in the league. I know the league's kind of swinging more to his kind of style of play, which is the the running quarterback, the mobile quarterback, the kind of read option kind of style. But unless you have an offensive coordinator that's gonna kind of tailor the offense, kind of Lamar Jackson-esque to you like that, or even like Josh Allen kind of sort of, it's kind of like, yeah. And again, Cam Newton's resume is a little better than Colin Kaepernick's. He's been in the league more previously, obviously,
Recently,
more recently than Colin Kaepernick, obviously. And again, I just think that by signing Colin Kaepernick, it's going to be a whole Tebow times 10 kind of like fiasco where it's not going to be about the team. It's going to be all the questions about Colin Kaepernick. And I don't know if any GM, unfortunately, is going to want to deal with that because, in my opinion, and probably in most all of people's opinions, he's good enough to be at least a backup quarterback in the league. But yeah, I just think that Cap, I don't think he'll get a roster spot, but I do think Cam will be starting or a backup somewhere in 2020.
Yeah, and I do agree with you with that because let's be honest here. If we're talking about talent, Cam Newton is way more talented than Colin Kaepernick.
That too.
I would love to be able to talk football with somebody who believes that otherwise. What about you, Reed? What do you think about Colin Kaepernick getting a job over Cam Newton?
I think that would be a little bit ridiculous. I mean, I understand with everything going on today, and some people may be like, look, we do deserve to give him another shot with everything that was going on. I would understand that, but in a sense, Cam Newton's right there. Cam Newton has won MVP of this league. Cap's been to a Super Bowl. Cam Newton's been to a Super Bowl. Like Hall said, Cam Newton played last year. Cap hasn't played in 4 years. And it's just, you got somebody right there who can play and should be in this league somewhere. I mean, you look at it, I think Cam Newton would make sense for a team like the Steelers. You know, Big Ben gets hurt all the time, and he's a similar playing style to him where he's a bigger quarterback and kind of take punishment, strong arm, and you don't want to have to rely on old Mason Rudolph anymore. And then maybe a team like the Chaz Seahawks could take on Colin Kaepernick, and he could change his name to Colin Chazernick, and it would just be like a whole
Colin Chazernick. Dude, Reed, how long have you been sitting on that?
Going on 30 seconds now.
Yeah, but I agree with you on that. I think nobody is going to disagree. Now, it also got announced that the NFL is throwing the Pro Bowl in Vegas. I don't think there's a more perfect place for them to hold the Pro Bowl there.
That stadium is so tight looking. That stadium looks fucking awesome.
The shiny hockey puck, dude.
Yeah, it looks like Darth Vader's jockstrap.
It does, though. It just like stands out on the strip of a old black hole. Just
right. It's literally a black hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
I didn't even think about that.
And that makes a lot of sense for them, you know. And I'm sure it's one of those things where you could see it when you fly in, and it's just gonna be another thing to add into the NFL.
Unless it's nighttime.
God bless, dude. Just gotta do it somehow. Oh man, that was the Burgundy Zone. All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to wrap up on before we close the show for this Tuesday episode?
No, man. I'm just super excited to spend my summer abroad in Chaz, and being able to go learn the fine arts of vegan curry cuisine. That's it. That's all I got.
Sounds delicious.
You're gonna enjoy the woke life.
Nobody.
Sounds amazing.
Sounds amazing. You would just remember, make sure to lock up your Coke cans. Lock up your Coke cans.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, hopefully we'll have some good news coming up for you guys in the next couple of days. We will be joined by Wool and the from Urban Sports Scene podcast. He'll be joining us not this Thursday, but next Thursday. And then we'll be having Ian Bacon on very, very soon as well. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. And always remember, you guys can reach out to us on here. Burrows, Parker Hamlet, all these guys reached out to us to want to come on the podcast. If you guys want to come on for an episode, you want to come on for a segment, just let us know. Whatever you're comfortable with, we're down to let you guys come on and have this little time to be able to talk with us. We love you guys, and we would love the opportunity, to say the least.
Yeah. Arms wide open. Doors open. Just walk on through.
Yeah. Come on in. The water's fine.
Go to Hall and Reed's house. Just go over and hang out there.
I'm a fun guy to hang out with, you know.
Taste on the kettle. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for turning into the Burgundy Zone. Remember, go like and share on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're also on iTunes. Please go like and subscribe on iTunes, and please review us on iTunes so we can get more audience and more grand kind of viewing, if you will. It'll bump us up a little bit. And also, don't forget us to like us on YouTube as well. Love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Thursday, all right? Redskins football. Woo!
Yeah.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Reed, aka Black Mike.
Yes, and I'm Kyle. Redskins football.
Audio Jungle.